couldn't help myself. This ad was up on Facebook for free and cheap, it said. There's a picture of some white bikes. I noticed this one was a Peugeot with Nervex lugs. I could kind of see these strong white cranks. Thought, hey, maybe this is a nice bike, a U08, or I mean, not a U08. Maybe like a PX or PY, and maybe it is. I have no idea what year or what's going on with it. It does have some damage on the top of the tubes, like it was frontaled, but nothing feels frontaled. Maybe I had a minor one. To pull it apart and really check. Let's see what the heck's going on. It's kind of big and cool. I emailed the guy and he's like, yeah, like $100 for all the bikes. I'm like, I don't want the yellow one. There's like a varsity in the background. He's like, $100 for all the bikes. I'm like, yeah, a bunch of other stuff. He's like, yeah, I got a bunch of other stuff. Got down there. He was just trying to get me to take that yellow varsity. And I'm like, dude, I don't really want it. I want to look at other stuff. What do you want for this? What do you want for that? And he just kept talking about the varsity. And I just gave up. I gave him $100 for just these 2 bikes. And got out of there. It was a shame because it was an hour drive each way. But it was out in the countryside and pretty. I didn't even grab a tape measure. I didn't even measure this. And was like, it looks like it's my size. And then this is the other Peugeot. It's like a cheapy U08 or whatever. 70s Schwinn varsity quality level little Peugeot. But man, it's all original. And other than the tires being totally dry rotted, it's actually in pretty fantastic shape. Bottom bracket's smooth and has no play, which is good because it's cothered. And I mostly just cut cothered off and throw them away. My sister was like, oh, it's so nice. She kind of wanted it. Kind of everything about it's original nice. The basket's really cool. I have another little basket carrier just like this, but it's one that folds over the handlebar and hangs out. This one bolts onto the stem. I might need to steal it from a Louis Vuitton purse. Be pretty hot. But maybe I'll leave it all on here, just give this thing a little tune-up and some new tires, some new cheapy tires, and put it up for sale, because it's cool. He also, the last second, was like, oh, here, this goes with that all-white French bike. He gave me this box. And I was like, cool, whatever. I'll take, whatever junk. And there was like a bag of reflectors. Saw it right away. I saw some really old dried-out brake pads. They're cheap to throw away. There's like a tube that's probably junk. It's 20 by 1. Probably throw it away. For a little everything in the back of my sister's car. I talked to her to drive me out there because she wants me to help her fix the brakes on her car. And I started digging through this stuff. It smells like old man and cigars instead of like mildew and old garage, which is cool. But some old Specialized Roubaix bar tape. And he has a bunch of little hot pink price tags on everything. So I think maybe he had a garage sale or a swap meet or something locally. So one $16 this bar tape. He threw it in for free. He had 2 bags of tools, one for $10 and one for $20. The $10 one was way better. I put them all in this one bag. But this actually really made $100 worth of while. Here's a super vintage, like 80s park Velcro tool bag. I thought this was awesome. I'm like, I'll actually use this. This bag had a couple of chain rings in it. One boring, more modern stamped steel Shimano 38 tooth. It's probably 110. It's good shape. It's not for me, maybe for a build or for somebody else. Here's a cool old Sun Tour 36 tooth in pretty good shape in black. Sundua. This is exciting. I'll totally use that. An old pump peg thing, an old man, like dorky. Keep your pant leg out of your spokes, or out of your chain rings. Totally dead old performance patch kit. Some dumb computer bracket. The ubiquitous every old man's used tool and parts lot. Comes with, boring generic black tire levers. Always. Some old hard brake pads. So once we get into it, there's a Park chain wear checker. That's a great tool. A bicycle research cone wrench, 1314 on one side and 1516 on the other side. Here's a cool park tool I've never had. It's definitely going on my touring bike. Just really short little Allen keys and a flathead screwdriver. And this must be like an 8 to 10, I'm guessing. Super cool. Park chainring bolt tool. It's all rusty and missing the pin, but I think I got a box of pins for those. Generic chainring tool. Generic spoke wrench. Some junk. A cool park spoke wrench, which is hollow. They're always like thick and machined all the way out. It's like weird. And then it's got one of these old park CCP ones. I'm gonna have to Google it. It's double threaded. I'm not sure what the other thread's for. I'm hoping it's strong light, so I get these cranks off. I'm gonna have to order a strong light crank puller because I don't have one. Maybe strong light and regular, maybe two weird things. I don't know. Let me Google it and find out. I've always wanted one, never had one. And then a couple cassette tools. Some generic Taiwanese little cassette tool. A Trek branded like freewheel removal tool. A nice park freewheel removal tool. A nice park 4-prong sun tour tool. Like I'm having like freewheel heaven since I got those 2 cardboard boxes full of old freewheel tools. So I'm really starting to luck out. Another park freewheel tool. And a couple more junk things. Another cheapo spoke wrench. And another cheapo spoke wrench. But I mean, a bunch of tools. A bar tape, a really cool chain ring. Oh, and then 2 freewheels. They're both very lightly used to take off. This one might actually be brand new. And there's a tiny bit of dirt on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're both 6-speed. This is like the Shimano SIS Z012 Singapore. I think there's like their cheap replacement one from probably the 2000s, but these are fantastic and a million times better than what they sell now. And this one's another one just like it, but a little bit more dirty. That I'll have to check out and see if the teeth are good and not worn out. So potentially one, I mean definitely one, possibly 2 nice freewheels, a really nice chain ring, and a bunch of cool little tools that will probably come in handy. Some bar tape, and this super cool tool pouch. Super cool tool pouch. So this stuff's neat. So back to the Peugeot. I can't tell what it is. I don't know if it's high-end or not. It's got pretty cheap simplex shifters. Oh, they're missy-matchy. They have little barrel adjusters on the bottom. That's almost cool if I had full housing. You know, front derailleur, I can't tell if it's a nice old... Sometimes old stuff is weird, like old nice and a decade or 2 later cheap are kind of look exactly the same. So I don't know if this front derailleur's a cool one or not. The rear's very sad. I noticed when I got there, it's got a clamp-on Suntour VXG derailleur with the clamp because the dropout's been hacked off. It was probably Hooray or something in the way and someone decided to hacksaw it off. So that's very sad. Between the paint damage and the hacked off and the old and chewy, I'm going to say this is not going to be a fun road bike or city bike or upright conversion. But I do have those nice silver 27-inch single-speed wheels I got. And this does have some... I can't really read it. I think it's Normandy cheap high flange hubs with the chrome steel wheels, which I do not care about and would never put on a bike for any reason whatsoever. We have Regita 27-inch chrome steel wheels, so it's 27 1/4 with room, so it should fit the single-speed wheels with 27-inch Paselas. It's got Mayfac dual forged brakes, so it makes me think this might even be older than I think. 531 sticker's gone, the Nervex sticker's still there. League of Western Wheelmen, American Wheelmen. It's kind of beater. Maybe I'll make a beater single speed out of it. My knees are bad. I can't really ride single speed, but it's Some might appreciate a cool Reynolds 531 Nervex lugged beater single speed. I was hoping it had an ideal saddle. It's got a Brooks Professional. It's got like a little hole over there. It's a little mangled, but maybe it's cool. It's got the old steel C-post and a cool clamp. It's probably like a simplex clamp. The ear's all stretched and the paint's cracked and the slot's gone, so it's either stretched from over tightening or maybe that seat post is a size too small. Either way, we'll clean it up. It's got eyelets, so you can do fenders. Like, this would be a great, fun, weird French fender bike. Headset feels great. I don't know if this is the old Strong Light competition or if it's a cheapie. I had a friend who was really into old French bikes, and I got into him a little bit, but never quite as nerdy as he was. And the Strong Light cranks. Oh, that dust cap looks like it may be stripped out. Cranks themselves look like they're pretty nice. Crappy spring-loaded rack. Maybe I'll leave that on for fun. They're totally dead old alloys of all pump. Maybe somebody will care. I actually had some cheap beater bikes in the past, and I love these old spring-loaded racks. Because they're goofy and you never use them with panniers, but they're great for just sticking a to-go box in or wrapping up a jacket and throwing it in. They're fun for cheap, shitty, around-town vintage bikes. It's got 3 nice simplex top tube clamps, are barely rusty. It's pump pegs say made in France on them. That's pretty cool. But I really want to know if I can ride this thing. Be my size. It's a 59, so it's big. 58's big. Especially the 27 1 1/4. It's probably too big. I was afraid of that. I was really hoping it was a 57. But you never know. Maybe I'll luck into some 700s and run some 28s or something and, you know, shave a half a centimeter off the standover. It's not enough to care. Mayfac dual forge. I'll probably leave the levers or switch those old flat bar levers onto this with some cruiser bars and leave the dual forge brakes on. That'd be pretty cool. What I really need to do is make sure the stem and seat post aren't frozen. I never do that when I go look at bikes, and I really should, but I'm afraid I'll talk myself out of buying them, and I don't want to mess with them. Especially being way out in the middle of nowhere, 2-hour drive. Oh boy. The stem's not moving. French stuff's always weird sizes too. It's a 12. A lot of French stuff's a 7, like Allen wrench, so keep some stuff around. Fingers crossed. Hey. All right. Stem moves. Oh, look at that. So that's good signs. With flat tires, it fits. It's a big boy. Well, I'm gonna kind of take this guy apart and inspect it, see if it's savable. I think I put those 27-inch wheels back in the storage. I'm gonna pull them out and put them back. Maybe they're here. All right, we'll clean them up and get them on here. I think I will probably take these cranks off and put those Navarre ones I have that I made into a single speed by taking the outer ring off and moving the inner ring in. Or maybe I'll use these and do the same thing, swap the inner ring to the outer. But that ring looks huge to me. Hopefully there's only a 48, 52 or something really offensive and early. I mean, this thing really might be late 60s instead of 70s. Simplex dropouts. It's pretty cool if it's savable. I've ridden a lot crustier old French bikes than this, so probably we'll build it. We'll see if anyone thinks it's cool, and ride it, man. So that's today's weird score. I'm going to go to a frame builder sale tomorrow. Sasha White of Vanilla Cycles, who's been in the space for 24 years, is having a big sale trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff. I don't know if he's upgrading or get rid of stuff he doesn't use anymore, or if he's retiring. But I'm excited. I'm hoping to find a small alignment table I can fit underneath my bed and just pull out when I need, like one of the old Brignelli C-channel style ones. And maybe that's some other weird vintage frame builder tools. Some other stuff will be overlooked and cheap. So thanks for watching, and I'll probably do a video on that if I get some cool scores. It is late o'clock Sunday night. Got that Peugeots and that stuff Friday night. And then I've had a busy Saturday. So Saturday, I went to Vanilla Cycles, Speedwagon, Sasha White's, sort of downsizing, restructuring, changing the pace, shaking up his life sale after 24 years of building Vanilla Cycles. And he's selling a lot of big frame builder tools, lathes, mills, really big cool stuff for really cheap. I met a few other frame builders there that I hadn't really known other than on Instagram. And they got some really good deals, and that was cool, but I'm not in a position to buy a bunch of big, heavy, expensive stuff. I have no place to keep it. I did buy some stuff from him. And then I did that on the way. I rode my bike, the old Nothing Special Schwinn, and rode it up to way far northeast Portland to Adam's work. He has this really great place, Ranch Pizza. Their pizza's fantastic. The best Hawaiian pizza I've ever had in my life. I had a stem he saw last week, this rock lobster stem I got from the swap meet, and he wanted to swap it. And I'm like, lol, it's a really nice handmade stem. All I want is junk parts for a junk build. And I'm like, yeah, I want some Originate cranks. I'm looking for like an Originate stem and like a 26.6 seat post in black, like wing nutty, not special or valuable stuff. And he's like, yeah, I got it. And I'm like, you want to trade for that stem? He's like, yeah, dude, I'll trade all of it for that stem. I was like, heck yeah, man. So this 26.8 kind of scuffy black seat post. I don't know if it'll work on the build. I'm doing another video about sizing seat posts and vintage weird kind of low-endy bikes. They're all sized very bizarrely. He had a silver Originate stem, not what I want, but I do have a silver Originate bar I got the last swap meet, so maybe it'll go this way on the bike. He also had, I know when I want silver, all I can get is black. When I want black, all I can get is silver. He also had a set of old Originate silver, like single speed cranks. Ooh, 175s. They're long. I like that. He had a single mismatched just drive side one that looks new. Yeah, it really might be the old stock. Maybe I'll see if I can find a non-match, non-drive. I used to sell them for like 15 bucks. And he gave me this black, kind of scuffy Sagino single speed crank. Which is cool. Probably what I ended up using. I'll save this other silver stuff for something else. And he threw in a pizza and a beer. So I showed up, because I brought it all the way up to way northeast. Like a 45-minute bike ride. So that was cool. I did it all with this Sasha White stuff. So let's check out what I got here. So I looked at all the fancy stuff, and it was expensive, and it was fancy, and it was totally cool, and I didn't care. But I did have a little junk section. It said make an offer. I went and dug through that. And he had a bunch of tubes with this fancy stuff. I bought a bunch of those. And he had some clothing over in the corner, and I went and bought some of that. I had one t-shirt in my size, double extra large. Ooh, Frame Builder Collective. I was never a member of this collective. I don't know if you need to be in a cult or membership or if something everyone was into, so I don't know. But it's kind of funnier that way, really. So I got that, $5. Tubes were $2 each, so I should have grabbed all of them, but I grabbed so as many of the stuff in this box of 725 to 32s, because that's really the size I like in 700. He also had just cases and cases of brand new Defeat, like smart wool gloves in large and extra large. And I think I got 4 pairs of larges. They're $5 a pair. And I do love wool gloves for cycling, especially in the wintertime. And they fit a little bit big, but I think they'll shrink when I wash them. Goofy! The fingers have like some texture on them. I wonder if it's like the touchscreeny thing. That'd be cool. I bet he's having these made and like silkscreen his logo and, you know, selling them to guys who are buying his fancy bikes. But gloves are great. This dark gray color means I'll probably lose them pretty easy. I usually buy Army surplus wool gloves. You have to wash them like 10 times before they stop being all itchy and shitty. But, you know, it's like $15 for a 5-pack and they're green, so at least you can kind of see them. Got a few 27.5, 1.5 to 195 tubes, so 650B 38 to 50. I ride a lot of 650B 38s to 42s. They go all the way up to a 50. They're probably too big. Might be a fight. A couple more of the 700 tubes. $2 each. I was digging around in this weird make offer area. I found some cool stuff. Is that Supernova headlight? No. It's a bunch of random junk hardware. It's a lot of M6 stuff. A few springs, a few barrel adjusters, some used disc brake stuff, some brand new, you know, 11-speed to 10-speed spacers. One really long carbon recessed brake nut. Long ones are always great to have. A few just things. Most of it's new. So, you know, hardware at $2. And a 10? Come on, man. Couple of these Yakima bike rack things. You take your wheel off and, you know, you stick your fork on here and then lock them like a quick release. And in theory, you can lock your bike down so it doesn't flop over the back of your truck. So I have a friend who's kind of looking for one of these, or maybe I'll mount these on the toolbox in the back of my truck so I can haul bikes without them being flopped over and scratching each other. 2 of them. These things are like $40, maybe $35. They're crazy. Weird frame builder stuff, so this is always fun. So this is like a super long adapter on a tap handle, which I believe is an M6. We'll have to check. So if you want to get up there inside those stays, do fender bosses or whatever, M6. Might do all those M5, but you know, maybe I'll start doing some M6, or it'll come in handy for something weird or sit in my drawer for 20 years. Another tap handle with a tap. I do not know what size it is. It looks too small to be an M10. It's definitely too big to be an M6. But you know, on a nice tap handle. One very well used Anvil ISO front disc, the front shui baby. I think the rear is called the feng shui. And so this clamps onto a dummy axle and goes up in your frame, and it's got this weird thing on here. This is just junk. You bolt the ISO disc tab on here, and you can miter it and bolt it on and slide it up till it hits your frame just right, and it holds it in place so you can braze it onto your frame. I just got one of these for $100. You don't even want to know what he charged me for this whole box. You'd be insulted without the gloves and the shirt and stuff. I had him look, and he's like, one guy's like, I don't know, this is kind of expensive. The other guy's like, yeah. And the guy's like, should I charge him 50? And the other guy's like, hell no, man, I'm like 40. And I was like, yeah, you guys rule. There were all the other stuff down. It came up to like 80 something. And there's one really expensive weird thing. And I'm like, hey, would you throw that in? I have $105. You throw that in? He goes, yeah. The other guy was shocked, and I was shocked. And it was real goofy, and look, it was missing a bunch of parts. So I got it, 85 to 105, I got it for like $20. I'll show you that in a minute. There's like 2 or 3 more things in here I want to show you. On the make an offer table in some box, there was a brand new Wheels Manufacturing alloy spacers, 4mm axle spacers. I think these work great as chainring spacers on triples, and they work great for respacing axles. There's 2 brand new bags of 4s and 1 open bag of 1mm. So these are great. You know, if I'm going to space out a single speed wheel, it's 120, and I want to space it out to, 126 for an aluminum bike or something, I can, that's 6mm, so 3 on each side. So one of these 4mm on each side, just call it slightly too big or whatever. It works for spacing stuff. You space stuff. Stuff happens. I also bought this random quick release skewer because it also has a bunch of vintage spacers on it. Some mangled ones, some nice ones. Here's like a couple modern 2s, some old school ones. They're a little crusty and whatever, but man, when you need a spacer and you don't have it, it's like the worst. This dude, which I do not know what it is, but I kind of feel like maybe it's a cotter pin press. I'm not 100% sure. Nutworks. It's for something. Maybe I'll Google it. Maybe I'll find out. A couple of brushes, like seat tube brush. You know, it's like inside of a cedar chainstay brush. I don't have them. It's cool. And I threw in one of his little laser cut stainless steel, like rear dropout plates he bolts on. I just thought it'd be cool, like memento-y thing. I almost feel bad telling anybody I don't want to get back to him. This is the kit I bought. It is the Park DT 5.2 disc brake mount facing set. So it's kind of like that Bling Bling Cobra facing set I got the other day. This thing bolts onto dummy axles and comes up to where your disc brake bolts. And you can turn it in this little cutter and it'll shave it down. So if your thing's on a little wonky, your paint's real thick, you can face it right down, be totally flush, so your brake will actually mount flush, and not cause any problems. It had a bunch of extra parts, and we took all of them out. The extra parts were definitely from like a Sputnik, like frame jig. It was for like holding chainstays on. One of the guys started recognizing it. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely some jig stuff. But this is for doing like ISO and post mount and something else. So it's got two different cutters, a dummy axle adapter. Looks like a rear quick release or bolt-on axle to run these cutters off of. A front. It's got a front through axle. It's missing a rear through axle, and it's missing some little kit of some sort of spacer adapters. But what it did have was the instructions hidden under the foam. And I was looking around at the numbers, and other than like a 12mm rear through axle adapter and these little spacers, which aren't in the instructions anywhere, so I don't even know what they are if I need them. It looks like it's got everything else. I bet you I can go on Park's website and pay $20 or $30 for that one dummy axle is missing in case I ever want to do, you know, a 12mm rear through axle or whatever. That's pretty cool. Little instructions. You can see sort of in the picture. It's got the little quick release dummy axle, and it's just off a little arm right there, and there's a little facer cut into the disc brake. So I used to have a kit very similar to this, but it was just for ISO disc brakes, and you know, I think we traded it to our wheel builder, and I think he still has it. Sasha also had some cool cards for free, so I grabbed one, like a cool Christmas card of a cute little drawing of his workbench, little file and glasses, and some little vanilla head badges down at the bottom, some files. And he had some postcards from, I guess, the very first handmade show we ever did back in 2020. No, 2002. It was something like that. Yeah, it's like a really cool one of his custom bikes. Really cool detail shot. Cool lug shot. Cool head badge with the Chris King headset. It's that same, and a couple more of the same one, it looks like. So, you know, I grabbed them. They were cool. Do nothing with them or frame them someday if I ever start another shop and hang them up. So that's this cool stuff. And that was yesterday. It's a lot. I also was also supposed to meet a guy up in Northeast and grab a wheel set from him. I had too much stuff, and he's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be in your neighborhood tomorrow running errands. I can drop them off. So he dropped a wheel set off. $65. Take off. Brand new tires. Brand new rims. Looks like they never had a brake on them. Probably went and built something fancy. He said it's an 11-speed rear hub. He's giving me the adapter, but he forgot. But luckily I got one in that Supernova kit. So quick release, black, generic, Alex rim. Kind of deep fees. $65. Brand new wheel set. Brand new tires. I think I'll put it on that aluminum track. Even though it's aluminum from the 80s, it's supposed to be spaced 126. It measures like 128.5, so squeezing it out to a 130, that ain't such a big deal. And brand new, looks so nice. I'll probably use those black Sagino cranks I have. It's in really good shape. Black stem, I got some black 27 2-seat posts. And I'll do like a fast little city bike, basket bike, 1x roadie thing. These are 25s, it'll fit 25s. I don't know if it'll fit anything bigger. I'm sure I got some black dual pivot brakes, like whatever. So very exciting. Then, today, I was going to go back to the Sasha White sale. and see what else he put out and see what else he marked down, but it got too overwhelming and the time was too tight. So I did go back to the community cycling center, Sunday Salvage Sale. They moved to their new spot. It's a weird warehouse spot next to Bike Farm, which is also a great place to get lots of cheap parts. So I went there. It's my first one there, and I got there real late. I was there like right at the end. So I missed a ton of stuff. Carl said they put out a bunch of tools, and guys snapped up all that stuff and a bunch of good stuff. But I still dug around, and I still got some scores. I found an old Berthaud strap, leather bag strap. I realized I was trying to find another one. They were like trying to close the door. These might be really great for my Louis Vuitton purse to make into a handlebar bag. That'll be coming on a bike. I got like a brand new, barely used T-Serve in 28. Like a Pan Racer T-Serve is basically the same thing as the Paselas, but Blackwall. With a good tube in it, hopefully. They're charging $5 for used tires. I also got this one. It says 700 by 28 something or other. Some sort of Schwabe Ultramo. But look at it. That's a lot of tire in there, man. I'm pretty sure this is a pair, not a single. So for $5, if it really is a pair and they're both like brand new, 700 by 28, this will be great for one of the bikes. This made it through like 20 people. Brand new in the package, Velo Orange bash guard. This might be really, really cool to put on the Trek, since I'm going to one by it. Or I'll save it for a single. See, it's brand new. It's got all the hardware. The bottom bracket mount one, which is even weirder, but kind of cool. But it's just screwed on. The Trek has like a bolt-on braze-on adapter, and I was thinking it might be cool to hang a bash guard off of the braze-on adapter thing. But with this bottom bracket mount, this might be way easier. That was cool. And here's my random assortment of junk. As per always, I went through their chain rings, and as per always, they had a really nice Shimano, like 910 speed, 39 tooth, 130 BCD chain ring. It's about the smallest you can usually find for 130. You can get a 38 tooth, but they're very rare. I just bought one on eBay, new old stock, for too much money. So this is great for trying to make the smallest gearing possible, doing one bys with old road cranks. The last second I found these. No one thought it was cool. They're all city gold double toe cages. I mean, if anyone's crazy enough to store toe cages and wanted gold, that's so cool. Burger Bell. I haven't had one of these in decades. It's like one of the first bike things I ever bought was this Burger Bell for my old Schwinn Cruiser that I put chopper bars on and rode all over town forever. Had to replace the wheels, so so heavy I broke the old spokes. First bike I really put some money into. Paid $80 for it, repainted red. It was cool. Burger Bell. They had some tools. Check out this ridiculous Ice Tools Expert Series. I believe this is a torque wrench with a carbon fiber on it, and it's got all the little bits, like 4, 5, 6, and a couple of Allens, so you can really, check your torque and stuff, bro. Oh, maybe you can turn this and set the torque and then twist it. I don't see how that's... Oh, yeah. So, some really nerdy but cheap roadie stuff. It's hilarious. Last minute, somebody pointed out they had a bunch of fluids. Here's a bottle of clear coating polish compound for glass light finish. I want to polish some of these bikes I'm working on. I'll use some free polish. Free thing of WD-40 because I'm out and it's free. Why not grab it? We also had some clothes. Here's a set of extra large, I think, SRAM Defeat socks in white. Totally roadie and ridiculous. I'll wear those. I only had a few minutes. They're like, we're going to close in 12 minutes. No one was talking at me. But I dug around just a little bit. Here's a real nice racer with no rust on it. It's missing one little hardware. And this pinch bolt setup, really dangerous and wrong. But I might do the racers on this Peugeot, so having the extra hardware and stuff's cool. I grabbed one last time I was there too. I wouldn't normally care about this, but I saw it last second. It's a bunch of Speed Play what are they, egg beaters or no, frog beaters. I don't know. That's like their shims and weird kits and things. And I had a bag like this and I put it on eBay thinking no one would want it, throw it away. And it ended up going for like $70. I could not believe it. So maybe some crazy people will care about this and I'll get some money on eBay. A weird tool, I don't know what it is. It looks like a couple of different kinds of dust caps, maybe for pedals. Some little wrenchy dudes. I don't know. I'll try it on some old dust caps and see. All the Campy and most everything else ripped off Campy. I got another one of these. They were charging $2 a pound for everything. It used to be 50 cents a pound, but there's somebody else there. I think I have one of these, spring tension to 14, but I wasn't sure, so I grabbed it. I got a Zog tool, 13mm cone wrench. Zog is really cool because they made a really giant bottom bracket tool for like the two side old style cup and cone bottom brackets. It was like super thick and crazy long. It's like a built-in cheater bar. I've always wanted one. Never had one. Someone laser cut one for themselves on the internet a while ago. I was like, make more of these, make more. So I don't know if they ever will. I told them to buy one if they did, but if they're reasonable, I am a broke ass. Here's just a generic bike headset wrench that is 36, 40, 30, 32, and 32 and 36, the kind of common sizes, but 30 and 40 happen. Cool to have a wrench for them. I did find this very good shape Seculite. This is a dynamo rear taillight. It's one of the best little circuit boards and lights out there. A lot of guys who make their own custom taillights actually buy these and break the housing off and use their circuit board. And their little frame builder machined aluminum taillights. So if it works, this is great. This is a fender mount one, so it's like kind of curved, so it can bolt onto the curve of your fender. Sort of ugly, but they're really great, and I just had Brian build me this dynamo wheel set for the Tiago stuff, and dynamo front hub. This is just a take-off, brand new, never used, kickback coaster brake straps. This wraps around your stay and bolts to your little coaster brake arm. Brake works. I don't have any, so I grabbed one. Coaster brakes are cool. There's a single old Dior crank in there. I didn't really dig around for the other one. The outer ring looks alright. The middle ring looks pretty good. The little ring looks pretty good. I sort of just grabbed it for the rings, I guess. Put them up on eBay. They're weird 4-bolt stuff. I don't know. They're probably hashed. It was probably a total... Oh, they're super broken. I should have... If I wasn't so rushed over to look at them. This little one's got like a tooth broken off. Yeah, the rest are kind of super scrapey. It's hashed. It's roached. I don't know why I grabbed it. Whatever. Maybe someone will want the self-extracting crank bolt and the spider or something. Maybe I'll just throw it in the recycling. It doesn't weigh much. It means I paid like $2 for it. I got a fun little part of a weird multi-tool. It's definitely a tool. Definitely does stuff. Instead of having one little adjustable wrench, here's a set of a whole bunch of different sizes. It's like 12-point sockets. It's got some spokey wrenches on it and stuff. One flathead screwdriver. I don't know. I like weird little tools. I also got this one. It looks like a big fat tire lever, and it's just like a normal, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 2.5, and a Phillips screwdriver. It's a great multi-tool for taking on rides. What else did I get in this little box? Oh, then at the last second I saw a big miscellaneous hardware bin and started digging through. Here's a set that was labeled 10 by 26. Is that the same as 10 by 1? I don't know. That's weird, but they're rear track nuts. Here is one that's labeled 9 by 26. Is that the same as a 9 by 1? I don't know. But I have like 3 front track wheels missing the nuts. And I ordered a whole bunch online, and I have no idea if they're ever going to come or get here or not. But I'll check them. They might be a weird size and not fit normal track stuff. One used 11-tooth black drilliumed alloy with the correct spacers. Little alloy sealed cartridge bearing pulley. I could not grab it. One brake tool for vintage cars. I have a couple of these, but you know, maybe this will be the right one. None of them really reach my truck's drum brakes very well. It's for setting the little star adjusters, like a barrel adjuster, basically, to get your drums tight. The shoes tight in the drums. To get them to your starting point, you can add or leave tension through a little hole in the back of your drum. You reach in there and click, 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 click. But I did switch my front drums out for 64 or later hardware, which has a self-adjuster in there. So, I mean, you still need this to get it close. You can kind of get it close before you put the drum on. It's a moot point. Brand new pack of M6 black hardware. I don't know, it's cool. A rack or something someday. A single weird cool simplex vintage seat post binder bolt. Ooh, cool. Maybe I'll put this in the old Peugeot. Originally they wanted $15 for this, but I ended up getting it for, a quarter. This is a front light mount. Bolts through a fork crown or brake, and you can mount most front dynamo lights on it. This is like the B&M style one. I don't know if the dyno light, I think it does, but just in case. I used to have thousands of these from all the dyno lights we did at Northern, put on everyone's bikes. Here's a couple of brand new 10-speed KMC quick links in a little Ziploc bag. Why wouldn't I want those? There's a few, looks like used 11-speed ones in here too, but I'll save those new 10-speed ones. One really funky old school inline barrel adjuster. Look at this weird thing. So ugly and bizarre, I had to have it. A cute little toe peak mini wrench, 8 and a 10. I mean, really, on most bikes, unless they're really old or French or something, this is all you'd ever need for sockets. Some bikes have like 9s and stuff. Another miscellaneous couple of, looks like maybe 105 or 600 barrel adjusters that don't have the plasticky caps. So some barrel adjusters. We get down to something cool. One little bag of some black ferrules. They're alloy and nice. One alloy black spacer. I was really hoping I could find the pair. Now this guy's cool. This is everything I've ever wanted or needed. I didn't know what it was at first. I thought maybe some bearing lubricator. So it threads. And then Graham showed up, who's like bike mechanic nerd extraordinaire. He's the fucking coolest. He showed up and pointed out that what this actually is for the old school bottom brackets. Instead of using a bolt, they have like built-in threads off the bottom bracket spindle. This threads onto that. So this threads onto your old bottom bracket to hold the bottom bracket wrench tool in place. And you can thread this out to this tool rock tight up against the bottom bracket cup so it won't slip right here. Really reefing on it. It's like an old Stein tool or something. Very cool. I don't have it. I've never had one. You know, I'm often using like the wrong bottom bracket tool or a freewheel removal tool or something to hold like a big giant fat washer down. And I use like a crank bolt and a bunch of washers and nuts, a bunch of wing nutty stuff. But this is awesome. It's beat, but there's nothing wrong with it. Looks like it should work just fine. I tested on a bottom bracket spindle there. So this is probably the real score of the day. So just when I thought I was done, there's a frame I wanted. It was a giant Cannondale. Had a black carbon 1-inch threaded fork. Someone's going to want that. Had a cool, I was hoping, strong light headset. It's not. And it's real tight, and it might be totally dead. I might have bought it for this headset, and it's junk. Whatevs. So you can see I still have the Peugeot in the stand. Been cleaning it. I don't have the right strong light crank removal tool anymore. I went on eBay and I bought one. This will be here in a few days. Pull those cranks off, overhaul the bottom bracket. I'd love to put a longer crank on. And these cranks are actually the nicest part of the bike. I could probably sell them for half what I have in the bike. And the inner ring was a 45 tooth, so I'd be running them as a single speed. 45 is huge. I have a cheap Nuvar crank set 170 I might use because it's French. It's a smaller ring. I would love to keep it something weird in French. But anyways, I digress. Here's that Cannondale. Huge, look at this head tube. And then Dumpster Dave showed up and he's like, dude, you gotta get this bike. I almost got this bike, you gotta get this bike. It's a Bridgestone MV5. Nothing special, mostly complete. I was like, no, I don't need the project, I don't want this bike. And then I was looking, and it's got nice Dior 7-speed thummies. The cable's destroyed, but good shift. Oh, this one's broken. Just a little bit. Well, you know, if this one's not broken, that's cool. I'll use it for a 1x7. It's got a brand new XLC saddle on it. It looks nice. It's cheap, but whatever. Someone want it. The rims look original and good. Richie rims. And the paint's not so bad. It's kind of a biggish size. It's got the Dior shifters. This one's, the plastic housing's cracked. Which sucks, but I'll probably use them on a 1x7. It's got the 7-speed Dior up here. I want that. And then when I was unloading it from the car, I asked him how much they wanted for it, and it's supposed to be $30, but you know, Carl's doesn't care. He's trying to get shit out of there. New kids don't understand that stuff will never leave. Let's give people crazy deals if they ask for them. So give me $20, the whole bike. I'm like, oh, it's got a real tall upright stem. I'll probably keep that. I'll keep these bars. They're kind of a cool bar. You know, they actually look kind of wide. They look kind of long. I was down at the car and I noticed some marks down here. I'm 90% sure these are the like fancy Nitto bars that are like $80, $90 brand new that I've had like 3 or 4 sets of recently. They must have been blowing them out. So if I got a $60 Nitto bar out of this deal, and yep, right there, Nitto. It's a Nitto chromoly bar. The old ones are like 54. The modern ones are 55. So I'll have to pull it off and see what it measures, what it says. I bought one of these bars because I'm upriding my rando bike to make it more of a city bike because I'm old and I enjoy the bike more. And I was like, no, it's too heavy. No, it's too weird. And ever since I bought that bar, they've been falling in my lap like crazy. I sold it on eBay. I had like 5 more fall in my lap. I think I have one in with my bars right now, but I'll pull this one off and, you know, get 40 or 50 bucks for it on eBay. Or put it on a bike. So, 20 bucks. Nice saddle. Nice thummy. Nice bars. Kinda cool, but not nice die-comp levers. Maybe I'll save them too. But I'm gonna give this. I really wanted these silver fenders too, if they're in good shape. I'm not really sure. They don't look broken. I want to put them on that little Raleigh I built, the tune-in flip that I built for my friend Rosie. As you can see, I've got the Motive and the Peugeot and this, and I found a free workbench on the side of the road, like 2 blocks from here, in like brand new shape. So I brought it down, took everything out of my storage closet, put it in, it barely fits, and I do some rearranging, like all these bikes. So I gotta go put a bunch of stuff out for free and up on Craigslist and make a big recycling pile of wheels I don't care about. Some frames, and give this guy a call tomorrow and see if he wants to come pick up this bike. So that'll be the first thing for tomorrow. So yeah, that's my weekend update or weekend scores. Too much bike stuff. I got like 4 frames in my room in a way and 3 wheel sets. Most of them, like 2 of the frames, I just want to overhaul the headsets and put them up for sale. Like cool mountain bikes. This Cannondale, I just want to see if I can save the headset and fork. This thing I want to build into like a wintertime single speed because I'm a crazy person. It's got eyelets, fenders, 27 1/4 and fenders. Those weird single speed wheels. I did find them. I did bring them back here, so I don't remember if you guys know, but like the very beginning of summer, someone's like, I'm moving today, I gotta get rid of this bike, thought I could fit it, I can't. $20, come get it, single speed. It was an old crappy 70s frame with these, you know, generic non-labeled silver hubs, silver like the Sun M13-2 rims, and Panracer Paselas. The front only had a 27/1, the rear is 27 1/4, but like last time at Sunday Salvage Sales, hit a mint condition 27 1/4 gum wall, the whole thing. So now I have 2 27 1/4 gum walls and a silver single speed wheel and this little French bike. So that's what I'm gonna build this Peugeot out of. So that's exciting. I'm currently scraping the grease off and trying to soak the fork because the grease is just in there like handle wax is so old. I'm soaking the fork, headset cups. I'm gonna overhaul it with new bearings. I got the right weird size. It's a free ball bearing thing. It's kind of cool. But yeah, that's full circle. That's my weekend update for guys drowning in crappy bike stuff. I really went nuts and bought a bunch more crappy bike stuff. But I got zillions of projects. I gotta put stuff up for sale. I gotta finish some bikes. I gotta build projects. I got stuff to last me all winter, in case no one puts anything up for sale or good deals all winter. So hopefully I'll get through all this stuff and get it done and put it in storage and up for sale on Craigslist, and hopefully it'll slowly get picked off in the spring. But I gotta get stuff here in the stand with nothing else in the way, built and done, and then out of here. So we'll have a busy fall and winter of bike builds. Instead of just look at all my crazy scores, it should be, here's how you overhaul headsets, here's a whole bike build, here's how you build a single speed from an old road bike, like here's how you overhaul a mountain bike and make it more uprighty. So hopefully it's gonna get cool. So thanks for watching. Speaking of scores, check this little workbench out. I got this while walking my dog Sunday morning. It was just out on the curb. It's missing the bolts that put the back onto the front, but otherwise it looks like it's in immaculate condition. It's like a cheapo, like $100 Harbor Freight one, I'm sure. But it's got drawers. It's got a little pegboard. It's got a light. So I rearranged my little basement closet. Moved this board over. Moved all my little hardware bins over, and I'm actually going through and organizing them, relabeling them, and getting stuff where it's supposed to go. Moved my little cabinet over. My toolboxes used to be down here. There's my MIG welder instead. And then I moved the old toolboxes underneath this little workbench where I have my vise. I still need to organize a lot. There's my shipping stuff from eBay. The bike I gotta do something with. The candle frame I gotta throw in the trash. But yeah, a little workbench. Look at all that. I got my extra chains and cassettes down here. Got my extra hardware kits, all my cables and housing and junk. Bunch more junk. Slowly organizing all these bolts I got at the frame builder swap meet. My fork straightening tool. Hey, look, there's some hammers. Yeah, getting exciting to actually put all my used M5, all my new M5. When I had Norther, I had these separated into different drawers, so I had a different drawer for all new M5, you know, by 8 millimeters long, 10 millimeters long, 12, 14, 16, the whole deal. But, you know, I'll just mix and match here a little bit until it just gets out of control, and maybe I'll make some special drawers. Look, my pedal washers. Ooh, 14 millimeter crank bolts. Ooh, empty thing. Starting to get some seat post binder bolts. They've been just all over the place. Getting stuff organized. So exciting. Ain't that right, Gizmo? Ooh, got my really vintage old Craftsman grinder set up. And by set up, I mean not bolted down or set up at all yet. But pretty exciting. From the Community Cycling Center Sunday Salvage Sale. Yeah, it looks like it's from the 50s or 60s. It's so sketchy. Lol. Here's some drawers I'm still organizing. Here's my headset spacer collection, because I stopped making 1-inch, so I bought up everything. Ta-da! So much free stuff. Anyways, thanks for watching.